Happy Sunday evening, everyone. I'm going to try to do a quick how to grow sweet potato slips for anyone who has never grown them before. So I'll try to get through this real quickly. What you have in front of you are 3 sweet potatoes in jars of water. You'll notice something different about these. I have cut the bottoms off of most of all of these, and that's because I bought these potatoes last year in November and I forgot about them, and so they started going bad. So what you can do is take the part that's going bad, cut it off about maybe 1/2 an inch or an inch above where it's going bad to the good part. Take it and stick that part in some water halfway, put the toothpicks in, and as you can see, these have already started, because when they sit for a long time, they've already started growing some roots, ready to make some slips. And so that's what happened. Let's back it up just a little bit. What you need to know when you go to get your potato slips, I don't know if you're buying sweet potatoes from the store, someone's giving them to you, or what. You need to make sure you understand which end is up. You want to make sure that you put the pointy end up. The blunt end, which this is not a good example of the blunt end. The blunt end goes into the bottom. Now this is a whole potato. And let's see if I can get this out. No, I can't. This is a whole potato. And this whole potato has, is the way you would do it if you didn't have any issues on the bottom. Let's see how that started to rot, but it's still solid. But I still wouldn't use this one because when I purchased it, I didn't pay any attention to the fact that this was cut. So when you go to the store and get your potatoes, make sure you look at the bottom and the top and make sure it is one whole potato. It should look like, let's see here. If I have one that I can give you an example of, because all of them were going bad. Should look like this. This is a whole potato. Now this is from 2021. I have potatoes left over from then that I just left in a bucket. And so this would be what is known as the blunt, B-L-U-N-T-N. It will look kind of flat and like maybe a different kind of shape. The pointy end will have a point somewhere on it. And also look like it's trying to grow something. Even if it's a brand new potato, it still will have a point on the very end of it. So that's what you look for. Blunt end, pointy end. You don't want anything that has been cut already, like this right here. You don't want anything that's been cut. So when you go, make sure you look for those items when you go to the store and pick your potatoes out. Make sure that you get one of several that is identifiably the blunt end and pointy end. You want to be able to identify that. Otherwise, you wouldn't know which end is up. So I'm trying to see if I can find another one. Okay, this is one. This is the blunt end. Pointy end. It's should have a point on it. Look for those potatoes that definitely can be identified with a point and a blunt end. That's what you're looking for. The blunt end goes down, the pointy end goes up. And you would take that, submerge it into the water halfway. You can't tell halfway because I have the label on this one, but trust me, it's halfway. And you can get some toothpicks from the store, just plain toothpicks. You don't need to have a brand name. You just need three toothpicks. Get a bottle, a box, or a container, and stick that in. Turn it 1/3 of the way. It doesn't have to be precise. Stick that in another 1/3 of the way. And if it looks like it's not all working out, then you can readjust the toothpicks. Because see, like that one's not working out right. So that's me. Anyway, so there you go. And you will want to check your water Once every 2 to 3 days, make sure it's not cloudy enough, because if it's cloudy enough, that means something's going to happen to that potato, like it's going to go bad or get rotten or what have you. Another way that you can do slips is like, let's see, which one of these potatoes is it? I have potatoes that already has the, I already had slips coming out of them because they've been sitting downstairs. You would cut this dark part off here. Cut them off. And you can take this and submerge it into some water. And like I did here. And it should start taking root now. That's a little bit too much water, because I would like for the water to be down just a little bit lower. And so that's the second way you can do it. But once again, you need to change the water once every 2 days. Check the water. Watch it. Because you don't want them to start going bad. Third way. A lot of people like this method. Using soil. Moist soil. Not wet. And I always tell you, make sure you have drainage holes. No drainage holes on this one. The soil is my seed starting mix. My seed starting mix that you've seen me use in my other videos that I sterilize with some hot water. You got to sterilize it with hot water. Do not just put the soil out there and put these potatoes in there. You'll have gnats coming from everywhere. Don't go outside and bring soil into the house. Don't even get potting soil out of the store unless you take it and put some hot water over it and kill those insects that's lurking around and eggs that's lurking around inside that bag, because they come free. So a lot of people just like this method. You just take potato and just sit it into something like this. Is just a plain old aluminum pan. Sit it into an aluminum pan into about 2 inches of water. Then you take the potato. After you put 2 inches of water in there. I'm sorry, 2 inches of water, 2 inches of soil. Scratch that. 2 inches of moist soil. This soil is moist, not wet. Not dripping wet, but moist. You squeeze all the juice out of it, all the water. After you put that hot water over it and let it cool down, if it's still wet, you squeeze all of the water out of it and put it in here. And then you sit about 2 inches up. And then you sit the potato in here. And then you take the potato, take the soil, and cover the soil about halfway up. As a matter of fact, I would say about maybe 3/4 of the way up, but just the top of the potatoes is showing. Everything else is covered up. And you're going to keep this soil moist. You're going to keep this soil moist, not wet. Watch it, see if it dries out. If it's dried out, you're going to spray some water on top. Or if you put your finger in there, it's dry all the way down to the bone, which it shouldn't be, then you may have to dot it with some water. But you still don't want it to be wet. It does not need to sit in wet water. Well, that's crazy. It does not need to sit in wet soil. So this is about as high up, using this one potato as a demonstration, as it should come up. That's about as high up as it should be. That's good. Now you can do probably 3 potatoes in here. This is a large potato right here. You're going to cover it the same way we covered that one. And this is a small one. If you have room for that, just pick a little small one. You don't want 3 big ones in here because that'll be too crowded. And put that small one there. So you get the gist of it. Make sure your soil is sterilized. Then take this and set it on a heat mat. If you do not have a heat mat, sit it near a window. I'm going to sit this on the floor in my family room by the sliding glass door. So when the sun comes up and hit the sliding glass door, it'll get some sun. It'll get some heat. But I'm going to sit it on top of some cardboard. I'm not going to sit it directly on the floor because it's a wooden floor. And the wooden floor would be cold because I'm going to have this time well, let's see. It's kind of warm outside. I have the fan going, so the floor, all the cold air is going to go to the bottom. So it would need some help. So I would elevate it just a little bit, and that would help with the heat situation. But this is going to seem like it's taking a long time. But let me tell you, once it gets started, you're going to start getting slips. You can try all 3 methods. You can try 2 methods, I would say, with the potato. You can try it this way and see which way works for you. Don't let anybody tell you that this is the wrong way, or this is the only way, or that's the wrong way, or this is the only way. Try both ways and see what works for you with the climate in your house, okay? I hope that covers everything. It's pretty basic. If you have any questions, just ask me in the comment section. If you feel like I left something out that you feel like others need to know, just mention it in the comment section. I want to ask you to please subscribe. If you're a new subscriber, thank you for subscribing, and then hit the like button. And I just want everybody to know that I appreciate you and love you, and talk to you later. Bye.